There you go.
Ooh, welcome into episode 19 of the Bayou Dragons podcast. Per usual. We've got myself, Matthew McCall, Porter May, and Mitch McCall bringing it in to you. We're really happy to be here with you guys today, and really excited to introduce you guys and welcome a guest, Mr. John Teague.
Hey, what's up, Matthew?
Man, I just tonight have met you for the first time. I told you earlier I'd heard about you guys going around and playing some shows in our area, and I'd seen your band and your music, and I was blessed for the first time to have been able to hear some of the stuff you guys had posted, and also you blessed me with a live performance tonight, man.
Thank you.
Really exciting stuff, man, and really, I mean, you're good, dude.
Thanks,
you're good.
dude.
You're good.
I
You're really
appreciate
good, man.
that.
So yeah, man, we're happy to come at you guys with another episode. Yeah, let's get into it, brother.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, John, I didn't even know this till tonight. I've known about you for a while, but you're a Hampshire native.
I am.
Been here for a minute. And I figured out
Texas.
you live by Crow's Fly about a mile and a half from my house.
Yeah.
Damn. I've probably been drunk over by your house many a time.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure my dogs have interrupted your day, maybe. Yeah. There's no telling.
Yeah.
Dogs are barking, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They will do that.
So you're a Hampshire native. You're 30. How old?
35.
35 years young, man.
That's it, baby. I'm in my prime.
Hell yeah. You're just getting fucking started, dude.
You're right.
But yeah, no. So you graduated from Hampshire, Texas, 35 years old, and you haven't been playing music all that long. Like, I mean, professionally.
Professionally, if that's a question, I would say professionally I've been pursuing this career probably since 2016.
2016.
This
okay.
band, that name, Teague Brothers Band, has existed since 2016.
2016.
But we really didn't cut our first record till 2018 and didn't release until late 2019. We were like, dude, 2020 is going to be the year, yo.
COVID. And we'll get to that. I was just more of just trying to get an emphasis on you're relatively,
you're right.
I'm saying relatively new to the
I'm
game.
relatively new to being predominantly the songwriter and the front man. Yes.
So, what'd you do before that?
I was a drummer.
Drum?
Yeah, I played drums.
Like for a living? I'm saying before, like,
Like as a profession, yeah.
Yeah, as a profession, and before you got figured out this is what your passion was.
Oh, I got you.
Just giving people a little background on you.
Well, like you guys, man, I spent a lot of time in the refineries, and I was in the military for 4 years, from 2008 to 2012.
Well, we appreciate your service.
That's what you got to do around here, man. Any of our viewers out there watching, y'all know if you're a follower of the show, man, we're from Southeast Texas, and that's what we got around here, man. We got refineries. That's where the money's at.
Yep.
You either go into the military or,
Yeah.
you go into the refinery, or you start a business, or
just be a teacher.
You find one way or another to be successful around here. You gotta chase the money, really.
Yeah, we have one of the highest growing populations in the country right here in Southeast Texas because there are so many jobs and so much construction, and so much permanent jobs, and oil and gas is just exploding here.
Yep.
It's not going away, especially the LNG going in.
Yeah.
And that's just turned into this crazy thing. They're adding more and more LNG stuff.
So you worked in the plants, you did military, and then but you had told me vaguely earlier, and I kind of didn't want to chime on it too much, but you've been writing, like writing songs for a very long time.
I have.
It was an interest of yours.
Yeah, for sure. The pursuit of writing and literature and all that stuff started when I was very young. I mean, 8, 9, 4th grade. I don't know what your age that is.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't read.
I'd have to like do.
You still can't read.
Can't do that. Yeah, we're from Southeast Texas.
No. That Porter got. I don't know what education Porter got. Like, I can credit all these schools around here. We got a lot of great schools, too.
We really do.
But Porter just didn't catch on. Still can't read, according to him.
Love lost in this space, huh?
Yeah.
Can't read. That's weird.
But no, dude, so that's really cool, man. Going back to earlier, you sat down on the back porch. We got to have a good time, play some music, eat some good food. Mitch cooked some ribs, man. What do you think about those?
I see. I had 2.5 servings, so they were fantastic.
Yeah, I take pride in my
well
ribs,
done,
man.
Well done.
I appreciate that.
Fantastic.
Porter played a big part in those ribs as well.
I used to be a pretty chubby guy, so like my chubby guy inside dude was like pretty happy about it.
Yeah. It's amazing. You in this podcast already, we've just got jumped from jump to jump. But yeah, you said you lost 40 pounds, which
I did.
That's a human, like a small human.
It was
like a very small human, but
it's a dog. Pounds. It's like a whole dog.
Yeah,
you know,
man. A pretty decent sized dog.
Yeah, I was pushing 40 in 8th grade.
Yeah, you think so?
Pounds? Yeah, bro. Yeah,
You're like 80 now.
I was in a chamber. They wheeled me to class. Yeah, man. They had like tubes and shit.
I don't know if you're not.
Nah, man.
Okay.
But you're not.
You never know, man. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, man. But no, going back to that, man. Talking about your songwriting, dude. You played that song for me, and it really kind of took me by storm. I was listening to the lyrics and the story that was being told, and man, you got something special, dude. That to me hit me in a way that was, that could have been a cover. Like you could have been covering somebody who was big and established in the industry, but you weren't. That was your song. That was your original, and that's coming out Thursday, Friday. Thursday or Friday?
Thursday, 11 p.m. It's technically like 12 a.m. Eastern time, so it's technically Friday.
Okay. Yeah, so Friday. I just wanted to
Central
throw that
time.
in there, but while I'm giving you the credit for that, because that was incredible, dude. That was a really that was a masterpiece. Dude.
Oh, thanks.
That was man.
That was a cool story. I was telling Porter before the show that I'm a total nerd. I enjoy like start to finish, like songs that are in stories that are in sequence. They have a beginning and an ending, and that song has a beginning and ending.
Yeah. And I mean, just to add in on that, in my spare time, like a lot of the time, like I'm looking for new music. Like I'm always listening to new music and trying to find new stuff. And I listen to a lot of country music, but when you sat there and played that on my back porch, I thought to myself, this dude just performed this song on my back porch, and it could potentially be
oh man,
it's definitely a banger, is what I'm gonna say.
When I told you what I told you on the back porch, like I'm in my book of life experiences. That's in like,
oh wow,
this guy sat on the back porch and played that. Now Porter's fucking with me because I'm simping over here on John, but
that's fine.
I really enjoyed that, man. I mean, I really think it was that good.
Thank you.
I really think it was that good, man.
It was that good.
That's really cool to hear, man. Because if you've been to the live show, like people have heard that in the full band format, but very few people have heard me do it like the way I wrote it. That's the way I finished it and wrote it, and it didn't change very much from when we transposed it or like put it in full band format when we went to the studio. But I feel like the producer nailed it. He didn't cut a lyric. I mean, nothing. So it's a 5-minute song, but it's a story as well. So.
Oh, dude, we talked about that on the last episode. I made a fucking 40-minute video that I was super proud of. And I was like, guys, I hope you guys watch this and enjoy it the way I intended for you too, So
yeah.
You just kind of got to hope that the audience is getting, the kind of the same kind of satisfaction that you're trying to put out there.
True. I mean, and there's some, I'm a purist and I'm a nerd about songwriting. So it's like my first thing to do is get the message and the story across on whatever that is, and secondarily is like, does anyone else like it? That's like not even that's not my priority at first, I hope that people like it because I really liked it, It's kind of like what you guys do here. Y'all are doing something y'all love about subject matter that you love and enjoy, and other people just happen to enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important for content creators to not worry about what everybody else is freaking doing. Do your own shit.
That was pretty well. That was actually, haven't really heard it put that way, like in that way, but we're basically just doing, and I guess for you too, you're writing music that you have no clue that anybody might not like.
Right.
And I mean, but you have a pretty good ear to it. And so you kind of have an idea, but I mean, you said you started writing when you're 9 years old. So I mean,
yeah.
Did you use anything from when you were a kid? like that, or was it more of just practice?
I don't know what it was. It was just passion.
Yeah.
I had a story I wanted to tell when I was a kid, and I'm sure it was dumb as shit.
Yeah.
It was like something stupid.
Yeah.
But it started off just like on a yellow tablet, just me like writing short stories. I'm sure my mom still has these little tablets. I wrote like horror stories with like people getting stabbed with butter knives because I didn't know the difference between a butter knife and a butcher knife. You know,
man, they were trying to put you in a weird place back then.
But I was in fourth grade. I didn't know. I'm just like watching horror movies and writing my own scary stories.
I think it's scarier to use a butter knife, hononestly. Like,
it would definitely be much more gory,
getting cut to death with a butter knife, or like a baby spoon that's made out of rubber.
It's the first time I've ever told anyone that.
Well, perfect. Man. At least thousands of people are now going to hear it.
Yeah, we can just at the very least be thankful that it translated into music.
Yeah, it started there, and since then, I graduated high school.
Yeah, it went from Halloween to
right, and I just built upon that. I'm writing a novel right now, and it's like a fantasy novel. I'm totally a nerd. We were talking about Tolkien and stuff
Lord
like
of the
that.
Rings and all that shit.
I'm super passionate about it, and that's my thing. That's where I like to thrive. That's my like fun place to go. And songwriting, to me, that's where I take my songwriting to. I like a story, a message, even if it's a folktale, true story, false, a fiction type of thing. I enjoy that particular part of songwriting. So I'm just doing my thing, and like we said, just people happen to enjoy it, and I hope they enjoy the new record, just like you guys.
They will. They will too, man.
Before we get into the new record, how many records do you have out right now? So
I got 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, I did one full record in 2019, and then I did half a record in the middle of COVID because there's like, what else am I going to do?
Yeah,
we couldn't play shows.
And that was the one with Pipeliner on it?
No, Pipeliner's actually it's a cut from this new record.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic song, too. I've been
brother.
jamming the fuck out of that song.
Yeah.
I thought, too, man, like going back to what you said about, telling the story and all that, like y'all talked about, Tolkien and, like the Lord of the Rings and like, like the kind of where you get your inspiration from.
Sure.
I didn't read any of that. I didn't read Lord of the Rings. I didn't read Harry Potter. I was not a book guy by any means whatsoever.
It's a crying shame.
That song told a story that I really enjoyed. And so like to the average Joe, maybe somebody like me who didn't do a lot of reading or something like that, like you get that, man. And you can get into it very quickly into the song.
That's exciting, man.
Well, that's where like good musicians, that's what they're good at. And I'll give credit to like Evan Felker with some of his songs that are just like
here.
Like it's like, man, that is good. Like the Gin and Lies or whatever.
Oh, Gin Smoking Lies.
Gin Smoking Lies, like that song. Before I figured out what it was about, I was like, how'd you, like a buddy of mine asked him, how'd you come up with that song? And he told the backstory, and I was like, oh, that's fucking brilliant.
I'll tell you what, I feel like the storytelling is kind of like a lost art with country music. Like a lot of the older songs used to like really tell stories, but now you get a lot of the mainstream bullshit, obviously, but the main like songs that actually tell a story. It's just really cool to hear it.
It's diluted now. It feels like we talked about it earlier. I was like, I used to see some of these artists. We were able to we're really blessed in this area. We got a lot of like great artists that have come up and come through our area, and you used to be able to just go and see them on any given Friday or Saturday night, down at the Rice Fest or at the parking lot in Dixie or, at Mardi Gras in Port Arthur. Yeah. And now it's like, the same kind of country music that you grew up on is transitioning into like, she's jumping into the front seat of my Chevrolet, and you're like, fuck, man, like, what is this, dude? Like,
it's a series of buzzwords that they like stitch together, and then on one record, you can hear those same buzzwords on almost every song.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of mumble rappers in the country music industry.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, they get what they figure out what they're like. Oh, people like this. Let me just recreate this in
I don't know if you
a different sequence of words.
The best person to ever, I think, do it. Have you the Dean Summerwind? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
So like Rance was telling me about this guy who was like trying to make it, at Nashville or whatever. And I might be butchering the whole story, but he couldn't make it. And he was like, dude, these people are singing these songs, repetitive songs of just bullshit. So he did a song called Parked Out by the Lake. And it's
I know the one.
Well, you should have led with that.
Well, yeah. Parked Out by the Lake, 12 words, like the whole song, just a 3.5 minute song. And and it got popular as shit.
Went nuts.
And people like
Dick Down in Dallas.
Yeah, Dick Down in Dallas.
It's another example of just what the fuck. People and people just latching on to it. And I mean, humor, I feel like we need to leave room for humor. So I don't want to bash it too bad. But they are making a point at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I love humor. I love seeing humor, and like everyone shouldn't take everything so fucking serious all the time anyway. So I do appreciate the humor, but at the same time, it's certainly revealed to all of everyone else. Like what
you can sing a 9-word song and you can get
millions,
1.5 million downloads in a couple of months.
I think that like in that regard, there could be a market for that, and they should create a new genre called "What the Fuck Country Music." Because it's like, okay,
WTFC.
Like these guys know what they're doing when they're making these songs.
Yeah,
let's slap it in the transgender country section and make its own thing for it, and it's just
transgenre.
Transgender.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I know the exact road y'all are going on to get there, and it's like, I mean, it's the songs that you're seeing on these dumb. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've used them on some TikToks. But look, we try to keep the quality.
Look, we're hating on it, but they're successful. They're making money, and
they found it, man.
Good for you. You found your niche.
They found it.
Hell, Carrot Top got he's making a living smashing fruit on stage, I mean.
Yeah.
So everyone, you can find a shtick, that's the thing. It's a shtick. It's your thing. And some people's shtick is a little more serious than others. And I think the important thing is that creativity can make money. And that's the lesson here is be creative, even if you're creating something that is the opposite of being creative on purpose.
Yeah.
Then there's money there. There's fruit there because no one else thought of it. Even though we were all thinking of how,
how no one else thought of this and how someone's making money off of it.
It's like, we could just put 12 songs. I put 12 words together in a song and we'll make millions. They're like, I doubt it. And then someone does it. And they're like, oh, shit, he's right.
Yeah. So going back full circle to where we started, you can only hope that people take the same, that you have enough like-minded people that kind of take the same road that you took to get to where you are. They have an interest in that. They have an interest in the storytelling and what you've got going on. And I know for us, it's a lot of the the kind of average guys, man. We work our asses off, dude.
Yeah.
We work our asses off. There's a quote from, you ever seen that movie, Fight Club?
Yes.
Hell yeah, baby.
Okay. My kind of guy. Like I said, just met this guy tonight. So we're still learning about each other. But
that's right.
He said we work jobs we hate to buy shit that we don't need.
Yes.
And so for us, it's the same way, man. We all work. We all bust our asses. And obviously we don't, we would rather be just doing this full time. But, this is what we love. And we're funding that doing shit that we'd rather not be doing. Yes. Right? So we can only hope that there's a guy out there like us, who's busting his ass. And at the end of the day, he can sit down and listen to our podcast. He can go and look at our content, watch our videos, and have a good time and say, hey, man.
Or go turn on some Teague Brothers.
Amen.
On Spotify.
One way or another.
Cheers to that.
Crack a cold snack,
Yeah.
So, record and a half. Another record coming out this week.
Yeah.
But when did you, so were you starting to tour before COVID?
I was, yeah. It just picked up for me. I released that record, got a new manager, went to Nashville, met with Evans, speaking of Evan, his agent at the time, he was on hiatus, recovering and stuff and healing. And but he introduced me to him, so I went up there, met with him, and we were like, all right, let's do this. And then like COVID, they canceled the Houston livestock show and rodeo.
COVID just took a big fat shit on everything.
Yeah, so that was like I was gearing up. We ended up playing. We still ended up playing a few shows that year, but ultimately it was a loss. I mean, big build up to like a big nothing burger.
Yeah, it's like COVID was a handicap. I mean,
for sure. Yeah, I got a mulligan though.
Yeah,
I got to come back in 2021 and start hitting it hard.
Yeah,
and you've done some that, and I would like to start getting into that. It's like some of like where's some of the coolest places. Big, you've been around the country now.
Yeah,
I mean, you've done some cool ass shows, some big shows, music festivals.
Yeah,
and I'd like to hear a couple of stories from some of those. 'Cause I know you've probably seen some wild ass shit.
Dude. Yeah, some can't talk about.
Well, yeah, some of them we cannot put on.
But no. But
I will say you have more of a broad range to put it out on the Bayou Dragons podcast because we let it fly. We let it fly. Man.
Yeah, no sense in like trying to censor things now. We could change names or something. Oh, yeah, we can figure out a way.
Oh yeah,
Hey, Bob was over here, showing his tits.
yeah. Oh, Bob and his tits, dude.
Bob's a problem, man.
Bob's always a problem.
But
I think the craziest things are, honestly, the craziest thing to me was like experiencing like traveling and playing around the country was how many people knew our songs when we got to Montana and shit like that. Like went to Nebraska, and I didn't expect a soul to be there, and there's 150 people there.
Yep.
And they all been listening to us on the radio stations playing the shit out of us. Had no idea, things like that. Like somebody asked us to play at their wedding in Iowa. I'm like, what the hell? What is going on here? Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah, I mean, and something, what else is crazy? One lady, she knew someone we probably all know out here in Winnie, Texas.
Yeah.
In Iowa. It's like corn husking country, man. But it was amazing to go around the country and see like how many people are like paying attention to us and knew our songs and were legitimately fans and stuff and wanted to be around us and hear us play. And so that's to me, that's I really enjoyed that the most, and that was the craziest shit to me in my head. I'm like, golly,
yeah, I'm going to BFE Nowhere, Montana.
Yeah,
but I talked about it, and I'm not going to tell the whole story, but like a few podcasts ago, I talked about it when I was up there in Idaho. Well, we flew into Missoula, Montana, and I'm sitting at the bar, and the bartender told Cole Johnson, he goes, "Oh, dude," Cole's wearing a Bayou Dragon hat. He's like, "Dude, I freaking love the Bayou Dragons." He goes, "Well, I got one of the owners here." He's like, "No way." He's like, "Dude, free beer on me." I'm just like,
kidding.
hell yeah. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. This is a bar. There's like 15 people in it. And this dude is like, "I've been following y'all since day one." It's like, hell yeah, brother.
Southeast Texas, man. I'm telling you, this is a really happening place to be. And we're blessed to live in this lifestyle. Really,
dude, it's something that's lost upon us. And to say that we're blessed, it's like people are like, we're Southeast Texas, like we got Port Arthur and Beaumont, Lumberton, South, like whatever. But, dude, like, we're nothing special, right?
It's not great cities. It's great people.
The people that come out of this area, like
Whitney, Houston,
holy shit.
Dude, yeah, I mean, well, you can go down the list.
Yeah, I mean, Bun
B. I guess I don't know what it is.
UGK,
like
Underground Kings.
I'm actually curious now to look into like what is it about this area? You know what I mean? Like, but there's a lot of great people that come out of this area.
I have a theory. We can elaborate it. Maybe I don't know if y'all Google stuff. We don't have a Jamie, do we?
Yeah. Hey, Jamie. No, we got a Jamie. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm very quick at it.
But in the 40s, and post World War II, there was like a huge oil boom out here. I mean, and all that happened. That's legit. The Spindletop stuff and all that. Lots of work. I mean, all the fuel and everything, all the oil, the crude that was coming out of the ground, these cities blew up in that period of time, and they legitimately thought Port Arthur, Texas was going to be the next New York City.
Yeah.
Like they legitimately thought that. And so a lot of entertainers actually moved here. Yeah, lots of them. I mean,
and I imagine along with that, a lot of successful people looking to capitalize too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They like think about like New Orleans, all those people playing on the street and all that stuff. The same thing was kind of happening there. A bunch of artists and entertainers and great people, money makers, movers and shakers, entrepreneurs, all that. They descend on the area. Yeah, they descend on the area. And 80 years later, we're the descendants of those great people. We're descendants of those people that came here to eke out a living. I mean, it's just in the same way that everyone came from overseas, you know, from Europe or whatever to New York City. Yeah, in the same way. It happened here. So that's what I feel like. That's why there are exceptional people here in this area because of that. We're descendants of people who were pursuing greatness. And we're all trying to do the same thing here. We just happen to have alligators and shit.
Alligators. we got three things: alligators, rice, and oil.
I tell everyone it's cows, alligators, and rice.
We ain't got no gators.
No, Texas ain't got no gators.
Texas ain't got no alligators.
According to every genius on the internet.
Yeah, I know.
Texas has no alligators.
They have not been here, have they?
They have not been to Anahuac, Texas.
I tell you what, the rolling into the marsh and during till season, the amount of alligators we see just going to the refuge in the bayou, it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, every curve you take, you're going to see an alligator. And that's when we brought Snuff Cup, I was like, all right, man, look, just wait. We launched the boat it was crazy.
You're having to watch too to make sure you don't
run one over.
Yeah,
you don't blast one.
So as experienced as we are with our background in nuisance alligator hunting and, you know, just spending time around alligators, whether it's processing or catching live, whatever, I've been doing that. We've been doing that our whole lives. I made a solo hunt a couple of years ago that I've told these guys about probably 20,000 times. Just rolling out there, dude, and seeing 16 to 18 sets of eyes on the way to the blind. When you're by yourself, as much time as I've spent around alligators, like knowing I can handle 8+ footers, you know, or up to probably 8 foot, you know, on my own, and I'm good before I need somebody else. I was about ready to shit. Like rolling out there,
fucking dinosaurs.
Dude, I mean, like
ready to eat
you're
you.
sitting out there, and you know that part of your mind kind of starts to wander, you know, and you get creative. Your imagination's kind of telling you, like, man, what if one of these alligators swims up into the blind with me, or what if, you know, they start taking my birds, and it's me and the dog. Like, what am I gonna do? I got nobody, you know. So it's fuck. We got them. I mean,
I'll tell you what. I had that thought, man, when we made that hunt with Snuff Cup. And we saw so many alligators on the way to the pond. And we threw out the spread and everything. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go park the boat. Dude, I went and parked the boat like way on the other side of the pond. And I parked it up in some shit. And I was walking back and I was like, fuck, man. There could be some gators over here. But, I mean, like.
I always kind of roll back to, you know, we used to do like the alligator catching competitions, right? And so you're moving through water that you have no visibility. It's really muddy water, and like you're trying to go catch an alligator. I always kind of, when I'm walking back from the boat, because I'm that guy, I'm going to go park the boat. I don't care. I'll walk, I'll work, whatever. When I'm coming back, I have no visibility, and when I'm kicking stuff in the water, I'm like, bump, bump, bump. I'm like, what is that? You know, I always go back to be real still. They might think you're a piece of structure, and they won't fuck with you.
Well, the thing is, alligators around here, we're so used to them, but just, you know, when you're out in the marsh and it's just you by yourself walking through a pond at 4:30 in the morning in waders, you know, it's just like, it's a different kind of feeling. It's cool.
But yeah, so Friday, new record. How many songs are going to be on this new album?
10
songs.
10. 3 of them are already out. Because, you know, throughout the year, there's like a build up to the record coming out. So it's finally coming out. And honestly, I probably should have pushed it, you know, but I don't really care. It's time. I'm ready to drop it. And my birthday is the 29th of October.
Hell yeah.
So
big 3-6.
Yeah. I'll be 36 on the October 29th. So the October 28th is the release, which happens to be my dog's birthday.
Oh, damn. There we go.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
So what kind of dog you got, man?
I've got 2 Labradors, a Weimaraner, and a rescue mutt thing that bites UPS people.
Those are the best ones, the mutts. And Porter can probably talk about that a little more than I can. But what a grateful dog that mutt is, because you took that dog in. It's not a special breed, but he's grateful for the life he has.
He's definitely trying not to fuck it up. You know?
He's like, you know what, man?
My dog whatever you say, man, I'll do it.
My dog got thrown out of a window, and my buddy who gave him to me thought he was a piece of trash. Like when this car drove by, he was like, man, he thought someone just littered.
He's just
Instead, he
trash
just threw
out the window.
They threw a puppy out of a window, and it ran up into his garage, and he just called me and goes, hey, you want a mutt? He just got thrown out of a window. I said, yeah. And I saw him, and I literally went, Gus.
And what a great life you've given that dog, too.
Dude, that thing sleeps in my bed, tucks up and gets primo foods.
Yeah, Gustavo, man.
That's how my lab, my young lab, I got a year-old, and I got like a 12, 13-year-old. He'll be 13 this year. And, man, yeah, I love them. They're so intelligent. I just, feel like they're human somewhat, in, this way. They have a way to connect with you.
Yeah, well, I think dogs are just they're special. They're a presence.
Yeah, they're
like a treat.
For sure.
Dogs are a gift to us, man. Really. I mean,
we needed it.
Yeah,
we did.
They make us better people. Because
God looked down on us and said, y'all are shitty. Something went wrong. You guys need to pick me up. Yeah. You guys need to pick me up in the form of, here's a dog.
Yeah, and he gave them eyes like ours, so we just understand them, and they understand us, just eye contact and stuff. You know,
the big browns get me, man. I'm a sucker for big brown Labrador eyes.
Amen. I love them Labradors, boy.
But yeah, so what's your album going to be called? Happy Birthday? Since it's
Happy birthday, darling.
Yeah, it's actually called Prepare for the Funeral.
Oh.
No. It's called...
I was like, shit.
No. Dun, dun, dun. I got to go. No. If you need me.
Turned 36.
Yeah, no. we're black.
Yeah. I just started wearing a lot more black lately. No. It's called Love and War. The title track was derived from one of the songs, Love and War. But I wrote that song with this guy named Fred Kohler out of Nashville, and he wrote "Give Me Back," or it's I Want My Rib Back is what the song's called, and it's a Keith Whitley song. If you look it up, it's one of the best damn songs.
Keith Whitley's the goat.
He was inducted post-mortem to the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Time. I mean, you know, how many years later? 20, 30 years?
30, yeah, 30.
That's nuts.
The goat, man.
One of the best to ever do it. We'll just leave
hands
it at that.
down.
Yeah,
the goat. But so really looking forward to that. We'll be jamming that probably for about a week straight until we're just sick of.
I hope you get sick of it.
Because they'll be like,
that's a good
man,
sign.
this is 2019 Tundra by itself streamed it 687 times in 1 week. I mean,
yeah,
that's how we do it. The Bayou Dragons, we take things that we enjoy and we put that to the masses to the best of our ability.
Turn it up to 11.
We're like, hey guys, y'all got to check this shit out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and Mitchell just a little sneak peek, we'll talk about it. Y'all be getting a video of old Jonathan over here playing one of his songs, a little excerpt of it, and it's just beautiful. The one that Matthew was getting rocked on a minute ago.
Yeah, bricked. Full on bricked up, man. And that's not an understatement. I mean, you want to call me a simp? Go right on ahead.
I'd call you a
beautiful song, and I got it in prime quality too.
4K. Just
I'm impressed. I'm sold on the mic for sure.
Yeah, mics were great, man. Mm-hmm. They performed. That fire, on the other hand, it was a little poor.
Yeah, but it had enough smoke. You could see the smoke in the video. It looks pretty cool.
Man, I think the amount of dirt. I don't know. Can you burn dirt?
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess you can. If you're hot enough, you can just burn dirt. Mitch had all his dirt brought in for his house, and there was so many roots in the dirt. I was like, hey, man, we got enough firewood right here. Let's just build a fire. Nope.
No.
Nothing.
We put fuel. We had to put a lot of fuel to that thing to get it to light, man. That dirt started dissipating, and I was wondering where it went. Probably all into our lungs. We probably got, it's similar to asbestos, just hurting us.
Jamie, We need to pull
Jamie.
Jamie, can you burn dirt, Jamie?
Jamie, dude, we need a Jamie. Well, dude, I think that's what we need to invest in is a Jamie.
Dude, if we had the
it has to be a better name than Jamie.
If we had the equivalent of a Jamie, like, I don't even care what that person's name is. What would we call him? Or her? Him or her?
I don't know. I think it definitely needs to be a male because sometimes we kind of go off the rails on this thing. And
we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah, I don't want to be like say something that might be frowned upon. You know what I mean? But so Jonathan, you've so on your tours, you've played with some pretty big names. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I've been fortunate. Yeah.
Who's probably like one of the biggest names that you've played with? Like in your eyes, like who do you like you would rock out with or did rock out with?
Probably the folks that I enjoyed playing with the most are the ones I looked up to. Now Big Show, probably like Big Show, like opened up for somebody. Charlie Crockett was up there. It was a lot of fun playing with him. And since then, he's just totally skyrocketed to just like the next level. And so he wasn't like, he was big. He's much bigger than I was at the time. But now, man, it was like after, everyone knows what happened with COVID and all that shit. But so everything's really only picked up since like halfway through 2021, maybe late 2021 to now. So there's only been about, a year of like solid, everyone's back to work. Yeah. And Charlie in that time has absolutely gone to the next level.
Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier, like he's like one of those unique voices. Also, like you have your Colter Wall, you have your Charlie Crockett. You have that. Yeah.
Like no one can replicate that.
Well, no. Charlie's really hard too because he has like that little bit of a small lisp. So he's already gifted right there.
Yeah, yeah. In a way that he turned. And, I love it. Made it his own. I'm curious to know. Like we talked a little bit earlier about Cody Hibbard. And I mentioned that I didn't know who he was when he came. We got to meet him at Gator Fest, and so like the starstruck aspect of it, like saying like I don't know who this guy is, but he's getting kind of big, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you know and listen to this person, you idolize them. It's a little bit different when you meet them. They say you don't meet your idols. You've gotten to meet a lot of guys that are now big time, and I'm kind of curious to know, the personality side of that, how these guys carry themselves, whether or not, I like to think about it as, when people meet us, we've been those people for some guys, or some, even just, younger kids and stuff like that. They meet us and they're like, man, we're huge fans. And that's really just outlandish to us, because we're just guys, we're just average Joes, man. We go to work, put our pants on one leg at a time, or in Porter's case, 3 legs at a time. I put but
damn boy.
No, but
that's why we can't have a girl in there.
Yeah. But no, it's I'm really curious to know how some of these people are really behind the scenes.
Yeah, how's Rance May behind the scenes?
You ever met him like on stage? It's exactly the same.
I cooned him one time.
Yeah, old Rance May. Have you ever played with Rance?
Yeah, me and him, we fucking packed the place out there at the barn.
Oh yeah, that was recent actually.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
The barn's a good time.
Brought my fiddle player, and me and Rance just like tore the place down.
He told me like after the show, you were like, man, there's a lot of people here that like knew who you were. And Rance, of course, probably just. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, them eyes real low. Like,
man.
Yeah, just fucking,
fuck these fucking people.
We just.
It's funny
because they're just here to get drunk, man.
If anyone from Whiskey Barnes is listening to this, I don't care. But basically, before the show, we're outside and we're smoking, getting ready to play and everything. And this lady comes up and she's like, "Hey, Rance, it's 9:40. Like, y'all are supposed to start at 9:30. He goes, "I don't play till 10 o'clock." And then just turned around and she walked off. And I'm like, well, okay. That's not how I would have responded, but I'll take it.
More power to you.
Yeah,
brother.
He don't give a shit. He don't give a shit.
I've seen a bunch of Whiskey Barn stickers out at work, man.
Yeah.
There's some proud people out there in Mont Belvieu, man. They love that spot.
Oh yeah,
I will
I've
say
been there a
I
time or
was
two.
pretty impressed by the Whiskey Barn when I went and saw Rance play there. I was impressed. It's a cool little spot.
Yeah,
it is. It's a good time, and I can be myself there.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't played there more. I mean, especially since you live right here. Now that I know that you're a Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is we kind of mentioned this. My band comes from all over the state.
Yeah.
Like one guy's from College Station, other guy's from Trinity, one guy's from Austin, and now my bass player is from Victoria or Belleville, Texas.
Yeah, 6 hours away.
Yeah, I mean, so like we all descend on, to make bus call and then go out and play. So that being said, there's got to be money involved.
Yeah.
And not saying that they wouldn't be able to come up with it, but there's like there's other places that I can play and do, and if I can do a festival or something, I would rather do that and everybody come see me there, and then I can do shit with Rance over there and like fuck off and just like have a good time.
Yeah.
It can be more relaxed
Yeah.
instead of me like trying to put on this show, because it is totally different.
What's the biggest festival you've probably played? Do you think it's like Steamboat?
LJT.
LJT, you said?
Yeah, Larry Joe Taylor Fest.
Oh,
fucking insane.
yeah.
That was the craziest shit ever. I can't talk about things that happened backstage there. Boy,
Bob.
God damn.
Bob had
Bob had his tits out.
Yeah, Bob definitely had several tits out.
several, more than two.
More than two. It was
Man.
crazy.
Oh
God. I mean, it just doesn't end. Don't get me wrong. Steamboat doesn't end either. It's like 4 straight days.
I haven't been there, but listening to like Cole or Doug or somebody who is very storytelling, they're like, there's something about it. Like you're sitting there going down the mountain and you can kind of hear in the distance somebody like just playing. He's like, and you just like, you slide to a stop and there's Cody Johnson playing on like the main stage outside. Then you just, you walk into a bar to grab a beer and there's Charlie Crockett playing. And then you go into another one and there's, the Damn Quells or Flatland Cavalry or somebody, just anybody.
Yeah, I saw Pecos and the Rooftops is playing in this place, and there's, just casually 15 to 20 people rotating in and out. Like,
Yep.
Ever since I heard about Steamboat, I was like, man, I would love to go to Steamboat.
And you've played there a few times now. Or
yeah, I'm like become a staple there. I go there. I mainly go for the hangout, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we play shows. I'll play like 5 shows every time, maybe minimum 3 to 5 shows, acoustic, laid back shit. But I go, and that's fun and all that. I love doing that. But I really love the after midnight, all the other bands are done. And if you know the right people, you can get into the song. You go hang out with all the songwriters and
type
singers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you go back to the back, go to the Grand, go to a room or something.
You see Doug asleep on the couch, and then you walk past him.
Oh, he's not asleep.
And he's on it. Yeah, bro. Hey, so going off of that, like, I know you're busy when you're doing those things. I don't know if you would call it working. What do you call going and playing a bunch of shows? Does that feel like work to you?
Absolutely the most fucking fun thing I ever did.
Fucking love it. Yeah. So along with
I hope
that,
I die up there.
do you when you're out in a place like that, like in Steamboat, like you like to go out and enjoy the town? You like to go out and do a little bit of skiing and shit like that?
Yeah, like I said, I've been on a weight loss journey this year particularly so that I could do more skiing and stuff up there. It's like for some reason that's always been like, all right, next time I come up here, I'm gonna be fucking skinnier. And then that doesn't happen for some reason. But this year I fucking did it. I was like, no.
How good are you good at skiing?
No. God.
Is it that way everywhere you go? Like you want to kind of enjoy what they have to offer outside of playing? Like I don't know how much time you spend
I try to
in places like that.
I try to like go and like try to absorb the town a little bit, but oftentimes we don't have enough time. We roll in, you got to load in, sound check, then maybe a chance to like eat some dinner somewhere local, and then get ready, play the show, break down, load up, hotel, next show. It's just what we need to do is get there earlier so we can like enjoy the town a little bit for half a day and then go do all of our things. But it's something I definitely try to look into.
I know what I do or what I did when I was working like contract work. Now this was not going and playing shows, but it's a new place, right? All the time. And this would be detrimental to your journey, but the food.
Oh yeah.
I go and explore and say, hey, what is the best place to eat where I'm at right now?
They're like, the local Taco Bell down the street's really good. They have this burrito.
Boy, you could pinpoint places on the map, bro. You could say, all right, look, I've been here, and here. Yeah. This place has the fucking best food. El Paso was that for me. El Paso had incredible food. We went out in the desert, dude. I thought some fucking coyotes and cartel members were about to roll over the dunes going out to this steakhouse that I went to. And so we go in there and we sit down and eat. And they have these big windows out to the side. I'm like, fuck, this is good. I look out the windows. There's wild coyotes out there drinking out of the water fountains that they had, just as like their decoration. And they're like 2 feet from us, the glass is right here, and they're just out there.
That was just a stray Great Dane.
That's really
yeah, okay.
That thing had the wild in his eyes, bro. Yeah, like I like to go and do that when I go to new places. I'm big on like going and checking out what the food they have to offer is. I went to Pennsylvania. They didn't have shit.
Come on,
they had a Chili's.
They didn't have a Philly cheesesteak, kind of like the closest thing to like some authentic New York style pizza.
I went to Warren, Pennsylvania, and it was snowing its ass off every day. I went to a Chili's, and that was it. I mean, same Chili's we got around the corner.
You didn't explore much then, because I'm sure there's some dope ass shit.
Yeah, no, I met a female at the Chili's, and that was it.
It's like a hot dogs. I mean, what do they do there?
I don't know. Well, if you're from Pennsylvania, what do you do? I think actually Hunter Fooch goes from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he is. So like down here we deep fry shit. The equivalent of that in Pennsylvania is deep fried ice. That was all they had. So ice, black ice, and snow and Chili's. I think they might have had a Walmart and a dollar store.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Have you been to Pennsylvania?
You get the beanie weenies and like the Campbell's SpaghettiOs. I think is that Campbell's.
I will say,
not too sure.
We are pretty blessed for our area as far as the variety of food that is offered. Like
quality too.
We have the coastal, seafood. We have the barbecue. We have
Louisiana right down the road.
Mexican food. I mean, we have some very good food around here.
Yeah, the one silver lining to COVID was that you could go and take, you could get to-go drinks.
Margaritas to go.
So you go get a gallon of margaritas, and they would just stick it to you in a jug. Here you go. Take it to the house. Porter did that, and I think you bought $500 worth of bread one time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just take it to the house.
Bread?
That was COVID. That was COVID
During
times,
COVID,
man.
there was like a rule at one restaurant. I was like, I want some margaritas. So like, we can't serve you without you have to buy a certain amount. I don't remember the stipulations.
At a percentage threshold. Like if you buy this much alcohol, you have to spend this much money in food.
So I was like, screw it. Give me all your bread.
Yeah. Hey, this is how much alcohol I want. Whatever you got to do in food to make that up, just give it to me in like whatever you can. He fucking came out like fucking hundreds of dollars worth of bread to get however many gallons of margaritas, to go and take back to the house because you couldn't go in and sit down and drink them,
right,
and have a good time. So
that's crazy.
Take it to the crib.
That's nuts.
You ever seen somebody spend more than $100 on bread, boy? I've done it.
I don't think so. That would be a first for me. I don't think so, man.
Yeah,
maybe making bread.
It wasn't even Texas Roadhouse rolls either, boy. This is some bullshit bread.
Just bread.
Sunbeam, baby.
Yeah, bread that they normally give for free.
Yeah. Like I bought $150 worth of bread so I could buy $500 worth of margaritas, but
I would have got queso. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, I just got bread.
It's like 2 jugs of queso.
It was more
and a jug of margaritas.
It was the thing it was like I know how hard it is to make bread. You're not going to serve me the margaritas. Bake me loaves of bread. Like that was my thought process. Like I know
a lot of pistolets out of like some French bread or something.
Yeah, I don't even think it was that, dude. It was shit bread, man.
We're not eating it. Like just give me what you can in alcohol.
I'm gonna go feed this to my
whatever
fish.
You want.
Yeah, made a cool story though.
Yeah, I mean, I bought a shit ton of bread. But, I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
Yeah,
buy bread.
Put that on a shirt. Put that on a cracker. Put that on a loaf of bread. Dude. Fuck it. Whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
Jamie, look that up.
Do you have any bread? Do you have any big shows coming up here soon?
I would say probably the biggest show we have coming up right now is, we're in the Fort Worth rodeo, the livestock show and rodeo or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's a big thing they have up there in Fort Worth every year.
Yeah.
We're playing on the main stage. It's in January, so I'm looking forward to that.
That is a big deal. That's a pretty big.
That's like the equivalent of that's in the rotation with Houston Livestock Show.
Yeah.
So they have the Houston Livestock Show and rodeo, and it travels to Houston, Fort Worth, and Dallas area.
Right.
And then I'm not sure where it goes from there, but I know
I'm not
those
sure
two
either. I don't know a whole lot about it. It's the first time that anyone that opportunity has presented itself. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Have you
coming up?
Have you you played in Fort Worth before?
Oh,
in that area?
Yeah,
That's a fun ass place, dude.
Oh yeah, I play there every few months. I'm out there 3 months or so.
I really enjoy the Fort Worth area. We went a couple months back. Matt's little bachelor party he had. I had a blast down there on what is that? Their main area down there.
Yeah, Stockyards.
Yeah, Stockyards. Yeah, we had a great time down. Some really cool bars they got. In the Stockyards. I
encourage anybody watching the show or just anybody that I meet on the street. Stockyards is a great place to go, man. I had a blast, dude. Mm-hmm. I had so much fun. Now Mitchell, on the other hand, I don't really even recall seeing you there because everybody was like, "Are you that guy that dips on the party race? You're that guy."
That's what people say. Hey, man, you that guy that dips? That's me.
No, dude, it was so much fun. It was a blast. Like just kind of cruising around out there, and we're blessed, dude. I mean, the whole area stretching into all across Texas, man. Everybody's so friendly, and you can go anywhere and feel right at home. And Fort Worth felt that way for me too.
Yeah, for sure, man. I will say, I mean, there's pockets of like great people all over the country, and honestly, what I found is that as much shit you see or hear about on the media and all that stuff, really everyone's deep down. There's a lot of good people all over the place, but you're not going to meet those people talking shit on Twitter. You're not meeting real personalities there.
Even if you
need to get out and explore, meet people, and go to these restaurants, go to shows, go to concerts, big fucking festivals and stuff, and you'll meet people that are like-minded, just like us Texans out here, all over the damn country. Even in Chicago, I mean, there's fine people all over the place.
Yeah, no, even if you meet that person, face to face, they're not gonna be that way. The internet does something to people,
It's your brain, and it's like primal. It's like monkey stuff going on in your brain, and you're like
keyboard warriors, man.
I've been that guy before. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've talked my shit, and acted all big and bad. And, I met people and straightened it out, and being cool with it. Meeting somebody face to face is different. You go and you talk your shit, and you meet somebody, and you're like, man, this is actually a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
We're not that much. Different.
That's what you're kind of saying about John. When I told you that he was going to be on the podcast, you're like, man, I heard he's a bitch. And I'm just like, damn, dude.
Dude. I would have told you the same thing.
You know what I did say? Damn. You know what I did say about John? So he was like, yeah, so this guy is coming on the podcast. His name is John Teague. And I immediately associated that with, I got beat up by a guy when I was a kid named Teague. That was his last name, same as yours. I'm not going to disclose his first name. So I got beat up by a kid with your same last name, and that's why I asked you if there was any relation earlier.
Yeah.
Negative experience, and you showed up, and I balled the fist up, and I was like, "Ooh,
I'm about to beat this motherfucker's ass."
I'm about to beat him up.
No, I really did get beat up when I was a kid by the guy I asked you about earlier, and he's a good guy.
You know what that did, though?
So.
You know what that did, man?
Character's a lot.
You built the shit out of your character.
I would have had John's back
more
in
built
that
up
fight.
now. Mitchell would have came over there and beat my ass.
You play anywhere local, like coming up?
I was getting to that. Every year my family throws a big ass party at the Nature's Brewery right here.
Heyo.
It's called
Nature's Brewery.
Yeah, it's called the Teague Family Christmas Campfire Show, and basically it's a free show.
What is the date for that? Because I'd like
December 22nd, and it's like
checking the dates right now.
Porter's checking to see if
I
think
we'll be here. We'll be here.
It is the wildest shit ever, and there's way too many people there, and it's an all-nighter kind of thing. We've thought about moving it to a bigger venue, but I'm like,
Keep it in Mid-County,
man. I want it to be just like so hard to be there. Like if you want good spot to see the show, you have to get there early. Otherwise, you're out in the street. But even if you're out in the street, you're still smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, and having a good time anyway. Good old Southeast Texas. Then everybody's just like ordering pizzas. So there's just pizza everywhere. It's a mess.
Yeah, we can always go back to Mitch's Mid-County home and crash.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
We still know how to get in.
We actually, what do you remember what episode that was that we recorded at the Nature's Brewery with Tyler Blunt?
That was 16.
16.
Yeah,
16.
episode 16. We actually were at the Nature's Brewery. So if you
How was that? How was that?
You have to go check it out, man. BayouDragons.com/YouTube or YouTube.com/BayouDragons.
Go check it out. That was the first time I
checked that.
I got to really meet. I've met Tyler in passing, kind of the same deal, just drinking there with Cole. Yeah. But like getting to sit down and talk to him beforehand, and then during the podcast we had a blast, and then sat there and drank beer with him for a couple hours afterwards. And
dude, so I wasn't there for that podcast, John, and for them saying, hey, let's get this edited and let's get it up on YouTube. So I went and I watched the whole podcast, and that whole place was like a novelty. It's so cool. The Natchez Brewing Company is a really cool place to go check out.
And I will say this. Tyler has a true passion for what he does, brewing beer. He has a true passion for it, and, you can really see that when he goes into, talking about how everything works and, how you do this, how you do that. It was really cool to sit down with him and talk to him about it. I enjoyed the shit out of that segment.
Yeah, man.
He reminded me of like the Southeast Texas Walter White for beer brewing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I am the one who knocks. Jesse, pour the hops.
Dude, they bought that. I haven't been inside of it yet, but from my understanding, the place across the street, did he mention it?
Yeah, he talked about that. You're going to have to definitely check us out. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, and we're on YouTube. But
they had a miniature train that delivered beer to them from the bar all the way across the place.
You've probably had that privilege playing on that stage.
Fucking pearls, dude.
Yeah, the little minis.
We had ponies get brought to us, Miller High Life ponies. It was cool. And on the video, I'm filming like on my phone. So then there's a little excerpt while we're talking. I'm sitting there filming the Miller Lights coming down the.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show it to you when we come out of this.
Oh yeah,
or you could just watch it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
you can find us on But yeah, he was a treat, man. He was super fun and he's like, dude, whenever, let's do this again,
Yeah, I was jealous to have not been a part of that. It was that fun. I mean, it looked like a lot of fun, and Tyler seemed like a really good guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there tomorrow and go drink some beer with him. So.
Yeah, he legitimately is. He's been supporting us since like the record came out, 2019. I remember the message I got from him was like, "Wow, man, that record was one of the best records I think that's ever come out of this area." And he just said it in a way that was like, he's just being complimentary and all that. And then, like, as things progressed over the next year and we had, like, 3 radio hits and, like, it just blew up and everything, I was like, damn. He was a huge fan. I mean, after a year, the record came out in 2019. We did the Teague Family Christmas there. And he was like, yeah, man, it's a really good sounding record. To, like, 2020 Teague Family, we still did the Teague Family Christmas party, even though everything was shut down. We just didn't call it that. We just called it something else, like kind of kept it quiet. And huge fan, knew every word, and like it was like, damn. So he was one of the early ones that just bought in early on. So
hell yeah. All right. So the Teague Brothers Christmas, that's coming. It was the Teague Brothers Christmas, right?
That's right.
Okay. And it's open to the general public. So everybody from Southeast Texas that does listen to this.
Just send on Natchez Brewery, and it bled out into the street last year. So this year I'm hoping it crosses the street. We just take up the whole street.
The Bayou Dragons are going to go, and we're going to support, so everybody come out.
Let's go.
Everybody.
It's going to be a shit show. It always is, and that's what I like about it, man. It's and we have like 5 or 6 artists come. And then we just cap the night off with me and my family. We all get up there. We all play instruments, and it's a good-ass time, man. It really is.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah, it's laid back.
Have you done any like music video stuff or, I mean?
I did. I had a really good time making a music video with the local Little League. For one of my songs, Fingers and Thumbs, we released back in 2019. And we did a music video for Fingers and Thumbs where I reached out to the local Little League baseball teams and stuff. They weren't able to play a bunch of games. And I was like, fuck, let's make our own game. So I literally went and bought jerseys for 2 different teams. They had a draft and like picked all the kids and everything and did this and put together a whole scrimmage. And we went out to Cocker Field right over here.
Hell yeah.
And played a fucking legit game. And that game was the music video. And then toward the end, before the sun went down, we went out there on the field and recorded the whole band playing our instruments in the middle of the field. And then we like cut in and out of like the kids playing.
Yeah, you kind of like put it. You kind of like did jump cuts back from you guys playing, like mix it in throughout.
Yeah, and it starts off with like the dad. He's like going to work in the refinery and everything. It was a total tip of the hat at Southeast Texas in like baseball and just the love of that. I guess just being out here. I wanted to tie that in, and also the song has a lyric in there that's it was a good swing. Like I gave it a good swing.
Was there a kid? Was there a kid going yard whenever you said that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
Tommy, man.
And I made them kids play hard. I was like, no bullshit.
Yeah, no.
I want y'all sweating. I want dirt, blood. I want it all.
I want y'all
recording this shit.
Yeah, I want y'all to kill each other.
And they did. They played so hard. I mean, harder probably than they normally would. Yeah. Well, I mean, they were dripping with sweat.
Dude, and that is something that those kids are going to take forever.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, I was on a video, especially like whenever you make it like big, because, I mean, you've already gotten...
We're doing okay.
You're doing okay. I mean, y'all have a lot of downloads on Spotify.
Yeah, it is certainly nice. It's up there.
That's cool as shit, though. These kids and their parents watching it and just seeing,
Yeah, you're right. It's interesting because they invited me to go like judge some talent show, and I was like, all right, I'll go do it. And I went in there, and a bunch of those little boys were there. And they were like, "Oh my God!" Freaking out.
I know John,
and John's my boy. I played a ball game with him.
Yeah,
I mean, they were my coach.
They're in the music video. They all are, and they all were stars in this music video. And yeah, it had a shitload of plays and everything. So it was really cool to see those kids experience that. And I mean, I never experienced nothing like that when I was a kid. So to me, it was awesome. And it would happen to be the year COVID was striking and just killing everything. And, the Little League couldn't, what do they call that, acknowledge the game or nothing.
Yeah. Right.
That's why I had to buy all new uniforms and everything. They could not have their name on it.
That's super cool. And you let them have everything after
it was the Roughnecks versus the Sidewinders.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's some just good old generic.
Yeah.
I guarantee
old school fucking baseball teams.
That's the Sidewinders and the Roughnecks going back to back, just back to back championships.
It was killer. I was so fun. It was so fun.
Yeah. We played on Little League teams that were named after the big league teams. And so I still have my Phillies jersey. I was on the Phillies. I would like to think I was the Bryce Harper of the team. And seeing where they are now, I can credit myself for their success. I still have a back pocket full of sunflower seeds, probably hanging in my closet right now.
Yeah.
How much big league chew did you used to?
Oh man, I got diabetes now.
Yeah, bro.
I don't, but people do get it from big league chew.
I was a bag a day kind of guy, man. I had a problem back then.
Bag an inning, man.
Yeah, when I was probably about 6 years old, man, I really developed an addictive personality. And
to the grape?
Yeah, the grape. I was a big grape guy, man. Bag a day.
That's all they had.
Yeah,
bubble gum, great.
I could probably chew a hole in a piece of angle iron right now.
Dude, when the sour apple came out, bro, that was game changer.
Your whole mouth's green, your teeth are green,
bro, and you're just dude. You get done with
spitting green out,
bro. And that first chew you put in your mouth of that big league sour apple, it just fucking made your skin just slip up into your esophagus. You just went.
Dude,
So
and all you
sour.
can think about is finishing that game, getting an orange slice and a purple.
Bro, all I could think about was finishing that game and hitting the sidelines, getting into the bleachers for the next game, catching a foul ball and getting a free fucking snow cone,
That's
baby.
what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
That
dog.
snow cone, bro,
Yeah,
at Kiker
dude.
Field used to slap. The
Yeah, you catch
ice
it.
was harder than shit.
You catch a foul ball.
Frito chili pie.
Oh, dude.
I don't know if this was everybody around rural America. You catch a foul ball, they don't want to buy baseballs. They're like, bring that shit back. We'll give you a free snow cone.
Yeah.
You get a
Please bring
you
the
get a
balls
pickle,
back.
or like they would freeze the pickle juice. You get a pickle sickle.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that
Pickle
sour
sickle.
apple and that pickle sickle will go hand in hand to just make you
Like
go.
double fist or what?
Dude, we should, this is what, dude, let's do a Bayou Dragon versus Teague Brothers Little League game.
Yeah,
Fucking
bro.
let's go.
Dude, that would be dope. Dude, let's go draft.
We'll provide all the loot. It'll be sick.
Dude, yes, I will. Dude, that would.
Uniforms, everything. I was dreaming about doing it again this year. I really wanted to.
Let's
but
do
we
it.
just got busy. We was touring and everything. But we got to do it in the summertime. I think that's roughly whenever the games are wrapping up.
Yeah,
It's
you
like-
want to be careful though when you're doing that stuff because Porter will get some, 25-year-old Dominican guy.
I'm 10.
Yeah,
10
he's like
years old,
gets a Brazilian wax
yeah,
like
man,
all
and
over.
You'll go over there and you'll be like, "Hey, Porter, like, come on, dude. Like, my kids are
Hedge
a little
some bets
upset,
and
dude. Like, it's
stuff,
10-0, man. Like, you guys think y'all could take it easy? Porter will come back to the dugout and be like, "Hey, man, that
Look,
coach is a bitch."
That's Andy
Next guy
Pettit
that
in a
hits
small shirt.
Yeah, next guy
I'm
hits a
down.
double gets a 40-ounce.
Dude, I'm really serious though about let's go draft us a bunch of 10-year-old kids and let them play each other like to the death. Just Dragons
They
against
will.
Teague Brothers.
They will. You can give them 9 innings and they will.
and we
go.
can
They'll play their
like
hearts
do
out.
like a professional recording of it.
Oh
you know?
yeah, and like just have a big ass draft and everything. Let them get a couple practices in, and we can go watch them and everything. And like
You have to
fucking
designate
settle
like
down.
coaches, right? So you're gonna coach one.
Yeah, you have to designate the
Yeah.
coaches, and usually there's some coaches that are already there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, kind of season. They dealt with the kids before.
Yeah, we'll
Right.
pull Robert May out of retirement. And
I got Philip Farrow and all my boys over there from Hampshire Net.
We got Robert.
We'll go over there.
we'll get Robert and Gary Minaldi. Get the old school. Just
Oh
who's
shit!
gonna commentate, man?
You guys.
yeah.
Obviously,
we'll
you,
sit up-
Matthew.
I don't know, man. I personally hate my voice. So for you to say that, it's I've heard that from people before, and it's just like, nah.
Matthew's up there. It's like number 10, little Timmy Tucker coming up to the plate.
And we've got number 10, little Timmy Tucker, coming up to the plate.
His favorite color is green.
yes.
He,
Yes.
like the whole thing.
You got to do the whole thing. We'll get a little
He has a
script
dog
for each
named
kid.
Yeah, he has a dog named Luke.
His favorite color is green. He has a dog named Luke, and he also has a crush on his math teacher, Mrs. Broussard.
Yes.
And she's sitting in the crowd, and she's all blushing, and Timmy goes,
It'll
looks
be
at her,
nuts.
calls a shot, dinger.
Dude.
Strikes out.
Or he has a crush on Jessica, and she's here tonight, blah, blah, blah. And then he strikes out. Yeah, that would be
Nah,
bad.
it's Stacey.
that would be bad.
Dude, we're doing this. This will be fun and like open to the public.
Yes.
Like we can make this thing
Kiker
huge.
Field. We should do it every year. We really should. It was nuts. I was so surprised, and then like a ton of people showed up. It even poured down rain that day, but nobody gave a shit. Everybody went out there and did it.
Dude,
Was
is
that
awesome.
was that like a kind of like you said you were shooting a music video, but was that like if we do that, like we're taking that and doing it and like this is badass, but also that's for the kids, man. Let
Well,
them go out there and have a
exactly.
good ass time.
That's what was so cool about it. Is it was the kids really became the stars of everything.
It's all
Like,
about the children, man.
right.
Let them be superstars.
Dude, they
dude.
might make that we might get put on ESPN top 10 with doing some cool shit like that. Dude.
No, we would get put on ESPN and we would be on that segment where they're like, "Come on, man," and it's Porter in the dugout like screaming at somebody like, "You gotta get on base, you gotta get down, you gotta lay out, slide."
Yes,
Yelling at
yes.
somebody, go. Third base coach like telling him to go home.
No, I can get.
And they're
I
just
got an
holding
ump
up
already.
at third.
I got an ump. Lane Stewart. will
Ah,
umpire.
Judice.
Judice is
Judice.
will be umping all games.
Judice can.
Well, Jake,
I'm
man.
dumb, so
hey,
down.
Jake's quality, man. I can vouch. I played pony and he umped for me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm down. Let's go. Let's make it happen. That's the other cool thing. Like we put like our logo all over like their shit.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, they looked pro.
And dude, what can be great is you get your stuff together, we get our Bayou Dragon stuff, and
Yes.
like we don't see each other's stuff until the kids step on the field.
Yes.
The Sidewinders versus the Mud Lizards.
The Mud Lizards.
Yeah, baby.
I love it.
I had this guy at work. He was an older gentleman.
We'll be the
And he was like,
pipeliners this year.
Pipeliners.
Yeah.
I had this older gentleman at work, and he's like, hey, man, you know, it was a Rice Fest time. He was, hey, we're going to be out at Rice Fest this weekend. You guys come check it out. If you guys want to bring your families out, you know, we'll be there. He said, what's y'all's thing called? What is it? The Mud Lizards? I said, yeah, man, come on, check us out.
Yeah, check out the Mud
I'll
Lizards.
take Mud Lizards all day.
It's pretty good. I like the Dragon.
Yeah,
I think that you
Bayou
had a lot
Dragons.
of options there, and y'all went with Dragon.
You
I
got to
think
Down
it's
with it.
old.
And I'm a nerd. I'm a Tolkien guy.
I think it's intuitive, you know. It some people they're like, oh, what does that mean? You're like, come on, think about it.
Yeah,
man.
Desolation of Smog. Come on.
That's it, babe.
Yeah, it's a dragon, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really look at an alligator, look at the anatomy of. Look at that.
It's
son
a
of
dinosaur,
bitch right-
dude.
He's a dinosaur. That son of a bitch right there is a dragon.
Yeah,
Dude,
literally
A
is.
dragon
Yes.
of the bayou.
If its legs were a little longer and it breathed fire, there would be no question. You'd
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
that's a fucking dragon. for
Well,
sure.
if you've ever walked up on one, or you just piss one off and it does that, like that,
yeah.
like straight up,
Oh, yeah.
like it's like, oh, I accidentally pooped myself.
Hey,
That's a
and,
baby
you
right
know,
there, but
smart
you know.
man, Mr. John Teague wearing his brown pants tonight,
Yeah,
I did.
he knew there. He was like,
Just
Bayou
in
Dragons.
case.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
just in case they get shit.
By the
Yes.
way, there's a live alligator in that closet behind the camera.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Surprise.
So,
Dude, yeah, thanks. I do.
Which one is it?
I don't remember. It was probably this one.
Watch your profanity.
No, yeah, that's close
Not
enough.
quite. but-
Not quite. That's fine. though.
We're still working on the drops, boys.
So we got to label them, bro. You gotta
Yeah.
label 'em. No,
Yeah.
I was over at, speaking of that exact situation. Okay. After Rise Festival last year, we played with Shane Smith and the Saints.
Yeah, great
Love
band,
Shane
by the
Smith.
way.
They're amazing. Check them
Yeah.
out. If you're, tuning in, never heard of Shane Smith, you're missing out. He was on Yellowstone and all that shit. But anyway, after the show, we're hanging out with their guitar player at the Jenkins farm. And, they have alligators, son. And this is in the prime alligator season at the time. Rance.
And this is in Texas.
Rance.
Just to clarify.
He's not there. Yeah. This is in Texas right here.
This is in Texas.
Hancomer, Texas.
Texas.
And so we go out there, and we're having a great time. And Jenkins is like, come on, let's go. Get in the golf cart. I'm like, all right, I know what that means. Adventure time.
Adventures, yeah.
So we jump in, throw it down, go down to the levee, one of the levees, and he's like, hey, you and Dustin, y'all grab that rope right there and just start pulling.
Yank on it.
And I was like, we kind of picked up, it was kind of loose at first. And like, so we start pulling, and then it just literally snaps out of our hands and hits the ground. Pow! We're like, what the hell? And he's like, grab that thing. So we like start grabbing it, pulling it. And this, like, obviously there's a gator on the other end. And
This
like,
behemoth alligator.
yeah, he's like, get the gun. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, man, I am wasted right now just yanking on an alligator who's not happy about it whatsoever. And like, we're pulling on it. It was so big, there's no way we could get it. So he went and got a Traco, or it might have been a backhoe. Yeah. And they go over there and they're yanking this thing, trying to get him out. And we call Rance, and Rance's like, hey, man, I got somebody on that tomorrow, man. He's going to kill that thing tomorrow.
We're pissed off.
I was
Find out
like,
he ain't
ah,
killing it.
shit. So I was kind of glad. But anyway, glad we did. I'm so glad we let it loose, man. That thing was 12 and a half feet long.
Yeah, no, I was on that hunt the very next day.
Fucking
Monster.
dinosaur.
Yeah, absolute monster. I couldn't imagine when we were talking about earlier going out in the marsh and seeing alligators out there. Generally, we see a lot of like 3 to 4 foot alligators. I think the biggest I've seen was like 8, right? If I saw a 12 and a half foot fucking alligator,
Dude, his head was like,
while I'm rolling out to the blind, I'm going to give him one of these right here, and I'm going to push that tiller handle out, and I'm going to turn around and go back to the house.
It's like, not
Yeah,
you,
no.
not today.
Nope, I'm good.
Today's not my day to wrestle this thing.
Did you grow up doing any kind of hunting and fishing, John? I mean,
Yeah, I did a lot of fishing. I mean, dude, you can't help but fish out here.
yeah,
You're not leaving the couch if you ain't fishing out here. This is like prime fishing in the country right here.
That's what we were talking about earlier. You have
every kind.
Yeah, you have the Gulfs right here. You can go saltwater fishing. You have the brackish and the marsh and the and you have the lakes right down the way, the bayou.
Yeah, the blessed opportunities we have, man. It stretches way beyond the imagination. We've got the outdoor opportunities. The money's here. Like anything you can imagine, you can build your life around Southeast Texas
for sure.
And the people are good. The opportunities are there. Whether that's music, whether that's your interests in the outdoors. That's at 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie, go ahead and show that.
Yeah, that was that 13.
That was the one.
13-year-old kid got to kill that.
Yes,
alligator.
that's right. That was a kid.
Yeah. Big alligator.
They drove out. We
were like, and he, I was like, oh, what the fuck? I didn't even realize. For some reason, I just didn't quite put that together. On Jenkins Farm, there's no telling what's going to happen. It's Venture Time. And it was crazy. That was nuts. And then to find out that it was a monster, we were like, holy hell.
Yeah. They provide some big alligators out there.
Well, I don't know how that works because that dinosaur right there was like 80 years old, 100 years old, 20 years old.
It's kind of the volume. It's kind of the volume of the land and the way that these alligators are able to, go throughout their life cycle, right? Unbothered. This is not public land. There's not a lot of travel out there. There's not people coming in and out.
Yeah.
There's no bother from the public in Texas Parks and Wildlife saying, hey, this alligator's a problem, right? This alligator's just doing its thing. So to have an alligator that size is, I wouldn't say it's the norm, but it's definitely much more frequent in places like that where it's remote, right?
How old is an alligator like that?
You can age and sex an alligator and do all of those things either with live capture. You have to have hands on though, right? Mm-hmm. So for you to look at something and eyeball it, you have to be traveled in alligators and in that kind of you have to. Somebody like a processor or like an alligator hunter or nuisance alligator hunter, or somebody who's been hunting alligators for a long time, you can look at an alligator and say, okay, here's a 13.5-foot alligator. That's not going to be a 10-year-old. That to get to that size, there are certain stipulations that you have to have.
There's probably genetics involved too, huh?
Well, yes. There are, but within the norm, right? You have to say, okay, in the wild, there are, you can't look at in the wild. In the wild, you're not genetically breeding alligators the way that people are doing market creatures.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So if it's like whitetail,
there's a big one.
If it's like whitetail hunting on a high fence ranch, you can say, all right, let's put this big deer and this big deer together, and we'll have a massive deer. Right? That's not how it works out there. Alligator farming is one thing, and alligator harvesting and hunting is another thing, right? So to do that, you look at a wild animal and you say, okay, if it's a 13-foot alligator, it's got to be past this certain age, right? Generally speaking, that's a safe bet to say, okay, if you have a 13-foot alligator, he's probably more than 40 years old.
I would say over 50. Honestly.
40 to 50.
Dude,
nowadays,
older than us.
Yes.
Nowadays, I would say, I would venture to say, and now this is just a theory of mine, but as time goes on and on and on, things are getting more and more crazy, right? You could see a 30-year-old alligator that's 12 foot long. I think that's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, that's achievable if you've got, especially in an isolated place where there's
enough food.
Big gators there all the time.
Right.
Food.
But with what we've had going on and with the data that we have and guys out here seeing this day in and day out, out there hunting them, you can pretty much look at that and say, okay, if you have a 12 or 13-foot alligator, that's an older animal, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to look at that and say, oh, okay. It's the same way with like when we're offshore fishing these guys. I thought it was so crazy that they were able to say that's a 500-pound fish, but they've done it so much. And they've seen these creatures and these fish so much that they're able to say, okay, just eyeballing it, it's a 500-pound fish. And they were 3 pounds off.
Holy hell!
So yeah, it's super close. So you kind of got to trust in that and the experience there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those data driven things where, there's not like a group of guys that are sitting there studying this, day in and day out. You just got to rely on the good old boys for that. Guys that are out there doing it.
I'm sure a biologist can figure it out, or one that's out there, understands the ecosystem or the life of, or the genetics of a dinosaur like that.
Yeah, I would say so too, but I don't think that there is a massive interest in that. You know what I mean? Like, if for instance, let's say the alligator program where there's the nuisance alligator harvesting program where you can go in and relocate or even remove these alligators. That's something that's real young in the state of Texas. There's not a lot of regulation surrounding that. There's this program that just started because of a need. There was a vacuum there. We need to get gators out. There's people moving in, and so it's not something that's been around for a long time. So it's interesting to see where it'll go based off of that, because the people that have been doing it, it's been out of personal, hey, we got clients that are coming in tomorrow. We got tags. Right. So we're going to fill them.
Right.
But yeah, it's trending in the right direction, and the data will support that going forward, I think.
You guys know T-Roy and all them.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
The gun scabbards that they had? Mm-hmm. Remember that situation? My grandfather made those gun scabbards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was telling y'all he was a saddle maker. I guess he was now. But he was for, most of his life. He made saddles and all that stuff, but he made those gun scabbards on swamp people. That was really cool. Yeah,
that's
that was
really
interesting.
cool, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That is badass. Yeah.
Swamp People was a very inflated show. I do a lot of impressions off of that just to excite the boys. I did it earlier, actually. It's a 800-pound behemoth, and it's a 5-foot alligator. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. The count.
Like, RJ and J. Paul are tracking after Pa too long.
Well, they'll watch a tree branch do this for 10 minutes,
and you're like, "Come, dude, that could be a catfish."
And then they cut to commercial, and you're like, "God damn, just shoot the son of a bitch!"
Yeah, they cut to commercial, and they're like, "HEB, here, everything's better." Now back to Swamp People. Yeah. Oh, we got a tree shaker, Liz.
Yeah, it's like the tree's just doing this. Like, oh, there's a big one on the other end of that.
No, that's a fun industry, man, and I think the support surrounding that has grown the same way that we're big in waterfowl, and the duck commander era spawned, especially when I would say mainly when they got TV coverage, it spawned a lot of interest in that, and we saw it personally, after the duck commander era, we were having to fight people to go out to our places that we regularly hunted where we wouldn't have to do that. And, it's a positive depending on how you're looking at it.
Sure.
Right. You have more hunters. So therefore you have more dollars going towards conservation when guys are coming out, buying their hunt license, buying their duck stamp, whether or not they know it. I know a lot of these newer hunters are not educated in that aspect of it, knowing where their dollars are going and the conservation that they're actually doing, but they are helping. And so I think that, as far as alligators go, that could be a possibility in the future, with Swamp People. And that's a harder thing to acquire, right? The way the states have structured their alligator tags and all of that. And I know Texas could definitely supply more tags, right? Based on their wetlands, based on their land mass and their land volume. They could definitely supply more tags. The alligator population, I'm not going to say that they could use more management, that there's a need for it, but they could definitely do it without hurting the population, and those dollars could go towards more conservation.
Yeah, but like you were saying, people get interested in certain stuff right now. Old John's probably seeing everybody wants to be a musician right now. I see that, that's, you scroll through TikTok, you just have just some Joe Blow, not saying they're not good at, playing a guitar, or they don't have a good voice, but everybody right now is like, I want to be the next Parker McCollum. It's like,
yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I think it's okay. We talked about, pursuing creativity. But I'm not sure if replication or imitation is necessarily being creative.
Yeah.
And so there's a fine line there of like, I want to sound or be like Parker or whoever the fuck you're trying to be like. But, and then actually being your own thing in some way. Maybe sometimes it might be that initial thing is I am going to try to be like Parker, but then moving forward, you might find your own way. That happened with Co Wetzel a lot. Like there's so many people who like
I was literally about to say that this rock Texas country genre thing that's going on is like everybody wants to be a Co Wetzel.
Everyone.
So like, do you think, I was like going off of that, I would think that people wanting to get into music are doing it for the right reasons, right? Because they're passionate about it. They've been doing it their whole life, or and they think now that they've heard this person or that person that like, hey, I could,
I think that's an assumption. I don't know. It's totally. I wouldn't try to say everybody. I would say it's totally every individual is different and why they got into music or why they're doing it or whatever. But I think that at the end of the day, what I would like to see is certainly more people trying to be themselves or be something different or, just a little more originality, because that's how the greats were made.
Yep. And
I was just talking about this shit this morning with my agent, that the icons are disappearing. There's just no more icons because everyone's just repeating something that someone else is doing, or it's like we talked about earlier, these songs are very much manufactured, a series of buzzwords plugged together and, just rearranged in different scores of music. It's certainly turned into that. And that is the same thing that happens when you're talking about people who are trying to be like Parker, trying to be like Co, trying to be like whoever.
Trying to be like John Teague.
I welcome you to try to be like me. I don't mind. I would definitely appreciate it, but I would.
Flattering.
They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery that you can get. And I think that's really cool. But if I found out that you are actually trying to pursue a career in this, I would definitely recommend you try to do your own thing, just like you guys are doing here.
Yeah, we've been there, done that. Right?
Yeah.
I gotta ask something I was curious about. Was there ever a point where you struggled with your own self and being like self-conscious, or were you always kind of just like, I'm cool with what I got? Like, did you ever look at yourself or listen to yourself on a track and say like, I don't like the way I sound. I don't want to take this to the masses.
Yeah. I fucking listen to myself all the time, and I don't like this or that. But that's part of that. I think if you aren't self-critical, you're not going to be able to make progress. So you have to be self-critical so that you do help you realize in some way, or even if it's not that bad, you still are trying to improve. You are always trying to make progress and move forward. So, 100%. I'm ultra critical on myself.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I speak for all of us when I say it was truly a pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
Hell yeah, man.
I think you had some really cool stuff to talk about. Really pumped about the record coming out this week, and I really look forward to hearing it. After hearing you play on the back porch, man, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot.
Everybody check out John Teague, the Teague Brothers Band on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, every platform you can listen to them.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it, John.
Thanks for coming out, John. Really enjoyed it, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.